Your goal is to make sure more than anything, don't listen so much to the price they want. Listen to why they want that price. Why do you want that price? We want to work with serious sellers and most serious. That's so true, Gerald. You don't want to waste your time with people that are testing the market. You know, let them test the market on their own. Or you say to them, okay, I will keep in touch, because your finances, your financial freedom is in your follow-up. So when a person is not hearing you now, don't just, say, oh, I'll never speak to this person, I'm done. Figure out a way to follow up with them, because as they talk to other people and people are confirming to them what they said, they're going to go with the person they felt the most comfortable with. And so you want to be that person. So always leave the door open. I know, Mary, that I couldn't help you with the price that you want right now. However, if anything changes, you have my number. Let's stay in touch. I will follow up with you next week. Always leave the door open, because real estate is all about building rapport and handling objections. It is not about the house. That is the product. But until you handle their objections, and you won't know their objections if you don't know what their issues are. And so that's the main thing you want to pull out of them. What is your main problem? What is it that's stopping you from selling the house now? And when they say, well, they give you vague answers like, well, I think I can get 100,000. Well, what makes you think that? Always repeat what they're saying to you back to them. Okay, it's like a broken record. Keep repeating it till they give you all the details. And ask the same questions in different ways. What exactly makes you feel you can get more money? What exactly, the fifth person to talk about follow-up, that meant the meat. Yes, it is. And it really is. Most people think when a person says no, Anthony, up front, that's it, it's over. No, it's in the follow-up. It's like if you wanted to get married, you don't, date a girl today and then tomorrow you're saying we should be walking down the aisle. No, you're courting. You're dating, you're learning each other, you're learning the person's personality and what makes them tick and what doesn't. And it's the same thing with the motivated seller. You're learning to build a relationship with them, and they in turn will give you more referrals. And also when things go wrong, you can go back to them and say, you know what? I know I said that we could get 150,000 for this property, but now that I've had my other investors, my other partners, or I've put it on the market and listed it, the feedback I'm getting just by the amount of people walking through the house is this. And you never want to say, oh, your house is no good, this is not, blah, blah, blah. You always want to say the feedback that I'm getting. And another thing that I want to give you guys, if you're an agent, always say you have to go back to the broker. You have to go back to the office. Never make it that you're the final decision. If you're an investor, always say, you know what, I have to go back and talk to my husband. I have to go back and talk to my partner. I have to go back and talk to my son. Always add somebody else into the equation so that you can walk away from a property. Just recently, it's not what you paid, what you want or would like to get. It's the market is offering for exactly to 1 million. Yes, and that's the thing. You want to, but it's the way you tell them, Gerald. If you're because you're a very strong personality like myself, and what I learned for me is that when I'm talking to a seller, I have to just tone it down a little bit. And I have to be more empathetic, more sympathetic, but not to the point where I'm not getting the price point I want. And here's the way that I give sellers offers. I always give them 3 choices. I always give them 3 choices. The one that I will offer them at least 10,000 more than they're asking, they have to give me the longer terms or better terms than I want. So let's say a seller wanted to, give me the deal, give me the property, but they want, 100,000, and I know this property is only worth 90,000. I will offer them the 100,000, but they have to give me longer terms. We won't close in under 30 days. We're going to close 6 months from now, or we're going to close now, but you're going to get partial payments, or we're going to close and I'm going to take control of the property and you'll get paid in every 6 months. So now the money's not coming out of my pocket, but the tenant that I'm going to put in their property is going to pay that fee for me. And that's a whole nother training that we can get into later. So the higher, the more money they want, the better terms I have to have. And then I offer them what the market value is saying I should offer them. And then we close in a very good space of time. We usually close anywhere from 7 days to 30 days when I offer them the market rate. If I'm listing the property, I usually take a year listing. And I've learned to take a year listing because most people watch your listings to see if the listing's going to expire in 30 days. And some agents will wait until your listing's almost expiring. At least in the New York area, I've had this happen where the agent will wait until, let's say my listing's expiring June 30th. They would wait till June 29th, which is unethical and wrong. And they will go and tell the homeowner, I have a buyer, but I'm going to wait until your listing is over. And so, but the ones that really want that property, they are going to sell that property in under a year. And so I will always take a listing longer when I do my wholesaling deals. I never ask for 7 days. I ask for more time because, again, I have to promote it to other people. And I have found that even if you can close it in 7 days, and I've been able to do a lot of deals like that, I still ask for more time. It's better to have more time and get the deal done than to have less time and nothing happens. So, and then I offer them a lower price point. So if you really want to sell now, you got to get it off your hands today. And let's say it's worth 100,000. I may offer 80,000, but I'm going to take into consideration what I want to put in my pocket, what the repairs are going to be, and what the next investor is going to want to pay for it. And so this way I can get a much quicker, faster closing. And I would encourage you to do that. I always offer 3 deals, and I let them know which one of these seems to work best for you. And more people choose one than to just say, well, your house is worth 80,000. Take it or leave it. And they'll say, no, I'll give it to you for 90,000, but you still have the same terms that are going to mess you up from selling it. Every deal will sell with the right terms or the right price. You got to have one or the other or both. If you don't, then you will end up taking a bunch of stuff and nothing closes and nothing sells. Handling objections is all about getting educated yourself in the dialogue and the mindset of what to say to sellers. So you have to master handling objections. And that's one of the things that happens when you collect all the information. Don't go in with the mindset is, oh, well, this house is worth 30,000. That's all I'm going to give them. Find out what is their issue. What is their problem? I've mentioned before, I've gotten deals from just doing what it is the person needed done. One deal that I just recently got, again, family was left at home, kids were on drugs. The grandchildren were using the home as like just to get high. And the aunt at the house was left to was like, just take it off my hands. Now, I went through a lot with just making sure the deed was in order, the title was in order. That took some time because in this particular state, when somebody left a home, every person connected to that person had to be found to make sure that they, were not trying to fight for the property. So that process took about 8 months alone. And so you'll have some deals that close immediately. I've had some deals, I find the property, everything's in order. I take the information today and we're closing within 7 to 10 days. And that's because I have a great team. That's the next thing you want to look at, your team. Always build your team up. Never be a person that badmouths your team or even thinks negatively about your team. Whether it's other investors you're working with, the title company, the attorney, your broker, always learn to be positive. When I had a broker that I worked for, you couldn't tell me anything negative about him. I don't care what I was focused on, what can I learn from him? And so people can feel when you're not connected to your team, and you'll lose a lot more deals by doing that. So never speak negatively about your team, especially brand new agents. You don't want to do that. It's going to mess up a lot more deals for you. So again, handling objections, your whole mindset is to collect the information. Newbies, people that are new to real estate, what they do is, you're not hearing me? My sound on my side is, Gerald, let me know if you can hear me. Because other people, yeah, they can hear me. So there you go. So here's the thing. You want to make sure that you are personally learning to master. Exactly. Negativity is the killer to your team, and it's a killer to you. It's a killer to you. And you don't, you're going to deal with a bunch of people's problems. And thank you. Okay, you're going to deal with a bunch of people's problems. So you don't want your team to be a negativity to you. Always work with people and learn each other's working styles. That's very important. And learn to stay in your lane. The reason I've been able to do many more deals is because if it's a lending issue, my lender deals with that. If it is a real estate issue, let's say in Atlanta, the agent I'm dealing with in Atlanta handles that. And it's usually Shannon Williams, my daughter. If I'm dealing with loans, I usually give it to Anthony Williams. You guys know he's my son. These people grew up in real estate, and we're all on the same team looking to close deals. If it's an attorney issue, if there's something with the deed or any of that, then the title company or the attorney handles it. I try to facilitate it by making sure that the owner is getting to them what needs to be gotten to them. But my job is not to get in the middle and say, well, I don't know why the lawyer's doing that. Or I don't believe that agent, or I don't understand how this is getting done. And why would they do it that way? You're new to the industry. Your team is your team. Your team is your team. People always talk about Michael Jordan, but he had many greats that helped him to become who he is, including Dennis Rodman. All the people that played in his day supported him to get to that greatness, and that's what you want with your team. So never badmouth your team. Never badmouth your team. Yes, stay in your own lane, because if you stay in your lane, you're going to master what you do. The fact that I've mastered talking to sellers, people will say to me, I can't believe you got that deal for that when they wouldn't give it to me for much more. Or I can't believe that with all the trouble that seller had to go through, they still stuck it out with you, because that's what I have mastered. Handling objections, educating the seller, and making sure that my team is moving forward. You are the coach in your deal. You're kind of like pushing people to do their part, but you're not getting in the middle of their part. So I never will get up and say, oh, I'm going to do this loan myself. I'm not a lender, but I can talk to my lender and say, we need you to move this a little bit more, or this is what the seller says, the buyer says you need from them. How can I help you get it? If the lawyer calls me and says, I'm trying to get in touch with your client, I'm trying to get in touch with your buyer, they're not responding, I'm not going to say, it's not my job. Like, that's your job. You're getting paid for that. No, I don't get paid until the deal closes. So I make sure that I keep going and keep pushing everybody to close. So I will hurry up and call the seller. I will text the seller. I will text the buyer. I will communicate with the buyer. I recently had a deal that got saved because the young lady lost her cell phone. And I didn't say, well, how am I going to get in touch with her? I got in touch with the family member and I said, please communicate with her, or when you're with her, let her call me from your phone. And she did. And I said, you know what? Give me your address. I'm going to overnight you a phone today. I went and activated a phone for her for 30 days. And then she took it over from that point. You got to be the solution-minded person. Every time you solve a problem, the faster you solve a problem, the quicker you will close. And don't get caught up. Because for me, that phone cost me about $100, but I'm standing to make over $40,000 from her property. And so you got to think about, what it is that's worth or not worth. You have to stay, yes, you have to, with all parties involved. And you got to see what the problem is and how fast you can solve it. That's all handling objections is all about. And I also want you to remember, in handling objections, the first person that speaks loses the negotiation. So if a seller says to you, what is the price point? And you automatically say 100,000, you've lost the negotiation. I ask them questions. Well, what were you thinking this property should sell for? What did you have in mind for this house? What if somebody were to walk in today and offer you 100,000? How would you feel about that? If somebody were to offer you $1 million, how would you feel about that? Because I'm trying to figure out, what do they really think their property is worth? And I never say this is what I'm going to offer you until I have done my research. Because once you say this is what we're offering you, this is what I'm going to offer you. Exactly. So you don't want to make sure that you are, you want to make sure that you are not just throwing out price points. Because most new people, they say, well, I got to tell the investor, what this house is worth so I can get the deal. No, you're losing it there. You got to build rapport and you have to educate. And then you will get the price point that you're looking for, okay? And you'll get the terms that you're looking for. I'm going to do these pop-ups every so often based on the kind of feedback and questions you guys are asking me, or the text that I'm getting. And a lot of the text this week was people asking me, what do I say next? This person said this, and well, this person doesn't want to give me this information. And here's the thing, when they don't want to give you information, simply say to them, if you're an agent and somebody doesn't want to give you the information you need, you say, Mary or Sam, we're on the same side. My goal is to get you into the property. My goal is to sell the property, whichever case it is. And for me to do that and get you the highest price point possible, I need all the information. It's not for me. It's because I need to update either the person that, we're buying the property from, or I need to update the buyers that come in to buy your property. I need the information to help sell the property faster. If you're a wholesaler and they say, well, I don't want to tell you that information. Oh, why are you asking me what my taxes are? Or what are you asking me what I paid for the house? Well, that energy says that you've not built rapport. So normally when they say that, I say, you know what, Mary, I'm not trying to offend you. I'm not trying to be nosy. I'm collecting information so that I can help put more money in your pocket. By the way, that information is public knowledge. I can go look it up. But since we're working together, would you please tell me what your taxes are? Even though when you go do your research, a lot of this information will pop up for you. But you still want to ask them so that you are building rapport with each other. Don't take responsibility. The market takes responsibility. Well, the thing is, Gerald, you kind of do, you want some responsibility, and the responsibility you want is, like we said, building the relationship. Because the thing, you're a broker like myself, and we have to be careful because some of the agents take what we say just like, and they don't really read beyond it. And so I feel like every deal that you take, you are totally responsible for it. Whether it goes right or wrong, you are totally responsible for it. And the reason you are responsible for that deal is if you are not telling them what the market says. And most people don't do that because they're afraid. But if you practice telling them what the market says, you will not have overpriced listings that don't sell. You will not have wholesaling contracts that die or somebody else ends up closing it. You don't want that. I've lost some deals in the past, and every single one of them taught me what not to do the next time. And so you don't want that to happen to you. So for those that hung out with me today, Gerald, Anthony, I really appreciate it. I saw some people pop in and out, and hopefully some people will watch this on replay. And if you have any objections you've been dealing with and you'd like me to answer, I'll take a minute now if you want to pop up an objection. If not, and you want to text it to me or send me a message, I'll handle it the next time I do a pop-up training. I think, Gerald, maybe one day you and I can do a training on brokers and how we work and help our sales team. So with that being said, again, I hope you got something out of this. And if it was helpful to you, encourage one of somebody to watch it. If they're not in the RIA meetup, they have to join the RIA meetup to see the trainings that I'm only going to do here. They won't even be on YouTube. They will be only here. So if you know anybody that's interested in real estate or anything that has to do with real estate, invite them to this platform because I will be sharing a lot more here. Oh, thank you, Anthony. And, with that being said, go out there, keep marketing, keep making sure you're putting out your name as an investor or an agent. Keep putting your name out there, and then people will call you back. Talk to you soon, guys. And thanks for being part of the community. Appreciate you. Thanks for your help, Gerald. Bye.